Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. My name's Ellis and I'll be your host for today's general knowledge quiz. We've got 100 questions for you in this quiz, and at the end of the video we'd love you to let us know how you've got on based on our Quiz Class awards. You may be a champion, a master, an enthusiast, an apprentice or an explorer. Well, let us know how you rank in the comments at the end of the video. Today's lineup then, we've got questions on literature, TV, politics, geography, pop culture, sports, science and tech, general knowledge, movies, and music. And we're going to start today with our questions on literature. Good luck. Here's question 1. In J.D. Salinger's famous novel, which troubled teenager recounts his journey through New York City? Charlie Brown, Gatsby Wilson, or Holden Caulfield? The answer is Holden Caulfield. 2. In George Orwell's 1984, what is the name of the totalitarian regime? The Party, the Syndicate, or the Coalition? The answer is the Party. What is the name of the iconic Southern lawyer who defends an innocent man in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird? Atticus Finch, Tom Robinson, or Bob Radley? The answer is Atticus Finch. 4. What is the title of J.R.R. Tolkien's prequel to The Lord of the Rings? The Hobbit, The Silmarillion, or The Two Towers? The answer is The Hobbit. Question 5. Which beloved English novelist wrote about Elizabeth Bennet's tumultuous relationship with Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice? Was it Charlotte Bronte, Emily Bronte, or Jane Austen? The answer is Jane Austen. Hope you're keeping up so far. Here's question 6. What is the first name of Sherlock Holmes' loyal friend? Is it James, John, or Arthur? Sherlock Holmes' loyal friend is called John Watson, so the answer here is John. 7. Who wrote 100 Years of Solitude? Was that Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Mario Vargas Llosa, or Julio Cortázar? The answer is Gabriel Garcia Marquez. 8. Which iconic novel opens with the line, "Call me Ishmael," introducing the story of an epic pursuit on the high seas? Treasure Island, Moby Dick, or The Old Man and the Sea? The answer is Moby Dick. 9. In F. Scott Fitzgerald's classic tale of wealth and longing, what is the name of the woman Jay Gatsby is infatuated with? Jordan Baker, Daisy Buchanan, or Myrtle Wilson? The answer is Daisy Buchanan. Question 10. What is the setting for most of Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea? Is it the Gulf Stream near Cuba? Is it the Caribbean Sea? Or is it the Mediterranean Sea? The answer is the Gulf Stream near Cuba. Moving on now then to questions about TV shows. So if literature wasn't your bag, maybe TV shows is more your field of interest. Which TV show followed the life of the Cleaver family? Is that Father Knows Best? Is it Leave It to Beaver? Or is it the Donna Reed Show? The answer is Leave It to Beaver. Question 12. Who starred as the lead in the 1950 series I Love Lucy? Audrey Hepburn, Mary Tyler Moore, or Lucille Ball? Well, iconic performance, it was Lucille Ball. Question 13. What was the name of the spaceship in Star Trek? USS Enterprise, USS Voyager, or Millennium Falcon? The answer is the USS Enterprise. Question 14. In what year did the Brady Bunch first air? 1969, 1971, or 1967? The answer is 1967. Question 15. What was the longest running primetime TV show before The Simpsons surpassed it? Bonanza, Gunsmoke, or MASH? The answer is Gunsmoke. Question 16. What was the surname of the family portrayed in the 1970s American TV show about life in rural Virginia during the Great Depression? Walton, Ingalls, or Cartwright? The answer is Walton. Question 17. Who played the Fonz on Happy Days? Was that Henry Winkler, Ron Howard, or John Travolta? The answer is Henry Winkler. Which TV show featured the theme song Where Everybody Knows Your Name? Was that Friends, Cheers, or Frasier? The correct answer is Cheers. 19. What detective show featured a character who always wore a wrinkled trench coat? Columbo, Magnum P.I., or Kojak? The answer is Columbo. Question 20, the last in our TV show section. Who originally presented the popular game show where contestants guess the price of items to win prizes, known for its lively studio audience? Was that Drew Carey, Monty Hall, or Bob Barker? The original presenter was Bob Barker. Okay, now we've got some questions on politics. In which year did the United Kingdom pass the Representation of the People Act, granting the right to vote to women over 30, a pivotal step towards gender equality in politics? Was that 1918, 1928, or 1935? That happened in 1918. 22. Which landmark legislation passed in 1965 aimed to eliminate barriers for voting for African Americans in the United States? Was it the Civil Rights Act, Voting Rights Act, or Equal Employment Opportunity Act? The answer is Voting Rights Act. A very wordy question there, well done if you got it right. 23. Which influential political figure is known for the quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country"? Was that John F. Kennedy, Franklin D. Roosevelt, or Ronald Reagan? The answer is John F. Kennedy. 24. Who was the US president when the Berlin Wall fell in 1989? Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, or Bill Clinton? The answer is George H.W. Bush. 25. What was the original name of the United Nations, formed after World War I? League of Nations, Atlantic Charter, or the Treaty of Versailles? The answer is League of Nations. 26. Which US president was known for his fireside chats? Franklin D. Roosevelt, Dwight D. Eisenhower, or Harry S. Truman? The correct answer is Franklin D. Roosevelt. What country did the United States sign a peace accord with in 1973, ending the Vietnam War? Cambodia, North Vietnam, or South Korea? The answer is North Vietnam. Question 28. Which US president resigned due to a major political scandal involving the break-in at a Democratic National Committee office? Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter, or Lyndon B. Johnson? The answer is Richard Nixon. 29. What Soviet leader initiated the policy of glasnost? Joseph Stalin, Nikita Khrushchev, or Mikhail Gorbachev? The answer is Mikhail Gorbachev. 30. Which British Prime Minister delivered the famous Iron Curtain speech, marking the beginning of the Cold War narrative? Clement Attlee, Winston Churchill, or Harold Macmillan? The answer is Winston Churchill. Moving on to some questions on geography. What is the capital of Australia? Is it Canberra? Is it Sydney? Or is it Melbourne? The capital of Australia is Canberra. Which Asian country, steeped in centuries-old traditions, is sometimes referred to as the land of the cherry blossoms? South Korea, Japan, or China? The answer is Japan. 33. What river flows through the Grand Canyon? Rio Grande, Mississippi River, or Colorado River? The answer is Colorado River. 34. Which iconic American monument completed in 1941 features the faces of 4 US presidents carved into granite? Statue of Liberty, Mount Rushmore, or Washington Monument? The answer is Mount Rushmore. What country was divided into 2 separate nations until 1989? Germany, Yugoslavia, or Czechoslovakia? The answer is Yugoslavia. 36. Where is the famous ancient rock city known for its stone-carved structures and temples located in the Middle East? Jordan, Saudi Arabia, or Egypt? The answer is Jordan. Question 37. Known for its dense population, which European enclave holds the title of the smallest country by land area? Monaco, Vatican City, or Liechtenstein? The answer is Vatican City. 38. Which ocean is the largest by surface area? Pacific, Atlantic, or Indian Ocean? The answer is the Pacific Ocean. What mountain range separates Europe from Asia? Ural Mountains, Alps, or Caucasus Mountains? Is it Ural, Alps, or Caucasus? The answer is Ural Mountains. What is the capital of Canada? Toronto, Ottawa, or Vancouver? The answer is Ottawa. And now we're jet setting out of the geography section of this quiz and moving on to pop culture. Starting with question 41. What popular TV show featured the song Love and Marriage as its theme? Was it Married with Children, The Honeymooners, or Happy Days? The answer is Married with Children. 42. Who played the role of Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind? Katharine Hepburn, Vivien Leigh, or Ingrid Bergman? The answer is Vivien Leigh. Which pioneering rock musician was known as the Hillbilly Cat before earning his more famous title? Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, or Buddy Holly? Well, the Hillbilly Cat would soon become the king of rock and roll. It's Elvis Presley. What Beatles song did Paul McCartney write about his mother? Yesterday, Hey Jude, or Let It Be? The answer is Let It Be. In what year did The Ed Sullivan Show first air? 1948, 1955, or 1941? The Ed Sullivan Show first aired in 1948. What movie starring Dustin Hoffman popularised the word plastics in the 1960s? The Graduate, Midnight Cowboy, or Easy Rider? The answer is The Graduate. Who hosted the game show Family Feud in the 1970s? Bob Barker, Gene Rayburn, or Richard Dawson? The answer is Richard Dawson. 48. What was the first James Bond film? Dr. No, From Russia with Love, or Goldfinger? The answer is Dr. No. 49. Who played Atticus Finch in the 1962 film To Kill a Mockingbird? Gregory Peck, James Stewart, or Marlon Brando? The answer is Gregory Peck. 50. What popular American variety show in the 1970s featured comedic sketches with characters like Edith Ann and Ernestine? The Carol Burnett Show, The Flip Wilson Show, or Rowan and Martin's Laugh In? And that's the answer, Rowan and Martin's Laugh In. Let's move on now, as we reach the halfway mark in this quiz, to some questions about sports. Which trailblazing African-American athlete broke barriers by joining Major League Baseball, changing the face of the game? Was it Jackie Robinson, Satchel Paige, or Willie Mays? The answer is Jackie Robinson. 52. What boxer was known as the greatest and famously said, "Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee"? Was it Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, or Mike Tyson? The answer is Muhammad Ali. 53. What country hosted the 1966 FIFA World Cup? England, Germany, or Brazil? Well, it's the only World Cup that the England's men's team have won, and they hosted two. The answer is England. What NBA team did Larry Bird play for? Los Angeles Lakers, Boston Celtics, or Chicago Bulls? Larry Bird played for the Boston Celtics? 55. Who won the 1969 Super Bowl? New York Jets, Dallas Cowboys, or Green Bay Packers? The answer is New York Jets. 56. In what year did tennis player Billie Jean King defeat Bobby Riggs in the Battle of the Sexes? 1970, 1973, or 1975? The answer is 1973. What famous racehorse won the Triple Crown in 1973? Secretariat, Affirmed, or Affirmed? What famous racehorse won the Triple Crown in 1973? Well, the answer is Secretariat. This legendary golfer made history by becoming the first to claim victory at the Masters tournament on 4 separate occasions. Can you name him? Is it Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, or Tiger Woods? The answer is Arnold Palmer. 59. Which NFL team won the most Super Bowl championships during the 1970s? Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins, or the San Francisco 49ers? The answer is Pittsburgh Steelers. 60. Who was the first woman to win 3 gold medals in track and field in a single Olympics? Florence Griffith Joyner, Wilma Rudolph, or Jackie Joyner Kersee? The answer is Wilma Rudolph. And now we're running out of the sports round and moving on to science and technology. Before Yuri Gagarin's historic spaceflight, which American pilot broke the sound barrier in 1947? Neil Armstrong, Chuck Yeager, or John Glenn? The answer is Chuck Yeager. 62. What was the name of the first living creature sent into space, a dog launched by the Soviet Union in 1957? Belka, Laika, or Strelka? The answer is Laika. What computer was launched by IBM in 1981 that revolutionized personal computing? IBM ThinkPad, IBM Mainframe, or IBM Personal Computer? And the answer is IBM Personal Computer. 64. In 1967, Dr. Christiaan Barnard performed the world's first successful human heart transplant. In which country did this groundbreaking surgery take place? Was it South Africa, United States, or United Kingdom? And the answer is South Africa. 65. The concept of sending messages over a network was revolutionized with the first email sent in which year? 1961, 71, or 1980? The answer is 1971. What is the name of the first artificial heart successfully implanted into a human in 1982? Jarvik 7, Berlin Heart, or Total Artificial Heart? The answer is Jarvik 7. What nuclear power plant disaster occurred in 1986? 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, or Fukushima? The answer is Chernobyl, or Chernobyl, depending on your pronunciation. 68. After the success of Apollo 11, which Apollo mission faced a near disaster but safely returned its astronauts to Earth? Apollo 13, Apollo 12, or Apollo 10? The answer is Apollo 13. Who developed the theory of general relativity? Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, or Niels Bohr? One of the most famous theories to ever be developed, the answer is Albert Einstein. 70. What was the name of the spacecraft that carried the first astronauts to the moon? Saturn V, Apollo Lunar Module, or Eagle? The answer is the Apollo Lunar Module. Now I've got some questions on current affairs. Which beloved English novelist wrote about Elizabeth Bennet's tumultuous relationship with Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice? Was it Emily Dickinson, Charlotte Bronte, or Jane Austen? And we had a similar question earlier in the quiz. If you cast your mind back, the answer was Jane Austen. 72. Can you name the river that holds the title for the longest in the world, flowing through multiple countries and sustaining civilizations for centuries? Amazon, Nile, or Yangtze? The answer is the Nile River. Question 73. On its maiden voyage, which ill-fated luxury liner struck an iceberg and sank in the North Atlantic? RMS Titanic, RSS United States, or RMS Queen Mary? The answer is RMS Titanic. 74. What element is represented by the symbol O in the periodic table? Osmium, gold, or oxygen? The answer is oxygen. 75. How many stripes are on the American flag? 12, 15, or 13? How many stripes are on the American flag? The answer is 13. What is the only country that has a flag with just one colour? Libya, Bangladesh, or Japan? The answer we're looking for is Libya. 77. What is the capital of Italy? Is it Venice? Is it Rome? Or is it Florence? The capital of Italy is Rome. Question 78. Who was the first person to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Marilyn Monroe, Joanne Woodward, or Frank Sinatra? Who was the first? The answer is Joanne Woodward. What invention, patented in 1876, allowed people to communicate across vast distances using electric signals? The telephone, the telegraph, or the radio? The answer is the telephone. 80. How many rings make up the Olympic Games symbol? 4, 5, or 6? The answer to question 80 is 5. There are 5 rings. Now we're going to move on to my favourite category. It's movies. 10 questions all about the movies. What was the highest grossing movie of the 1970s? Star Wars, released in 77, The Godfather, released in 72, or Jaws, released in 75? The answer, out of nowhere, was Star Wars. Who directed the film Psycho? Stanley Kubrick, Alfred Hitchcock, or Orson Welles? Arguably his most iconic film, the answer is Alfred Hitchcock. Steven Spielberg's breakthrough film featuring a menacing great white shark terrorised audiences in which year? 1977, 1979, or 1975? How's your memory? The answer is 1975. What movie won the first Academy Award for Best Picture? Was it The Broadway Melody, Wings, or Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans? The first Academy Award for Best Picture was given to Wings. What is the name of the lead character in Casablanca? Victor Laszlo, Sam, or Rick Blaine? The answer is Rick Blaine. Who starred as Dorothy in the 1939 classic film The Wizard of Oz? Was that Judy Garland? Was it Vivien Leigh? Or was it Shirley Temple? The answer is Judy Garland. Question 87. In the movie Gone with the Wind, what is the name of Scarlett O'Hara's plantation? Green Gables, Tara, or 12 Oaks? The answer is Tara. Question 88. What is the highest grossing movie of all time when adjusted for inflation? Is it Gone with the Wind, Titanic, or Avatar? Well, although Titanic and Avatar are in the top 5 of all time, when adjusted for inflation, Gone with the Wind is the correct answer. What is the name of the 1954 Alfred Hitchcock movie that featured a wheelchair-bound protagonist? North by Northwest, Rear Window, or Vertigo? The answer is Rear Window. 90. Who played the role of Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind? Was it Gary Cooper, Humphrey Bogart, or Clark Gable? The role of Rhett Butler was played by Clark Gable. And we're going to finish this quiz with 10 questions on music. Which band sang California Dreamin' in 1965? Was that the Beach Boys, the Mamas and the Papas, or the Boys? The answer is the Mamas and the Papas. Who was the lead singer of The Supremes? Was it Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, or Diana Ross? Well, they were later named Diana Ross and The Supremes, so the answer is Diana Ross. What Elvis Presley song was the first #1 hit in the US? Heartbreak Hotel, Jailhouse Rock, or Hound Dog? Elvis Presley's first #1 hit in the US was Heartbreak Hotel. 94. What folk singer wrote the song Blowin' in the Wind? Pete Seeger, Bob Dylan, or Joan Baez? The answer is Bob Dylan. Question 95. What was the last Beatles album released before they broke up? Let It Be, Abbey Road, or The White Album? The last Beatles album before they broke up was Let It Be. 96. What band sang Stairway to Heaven? Was that Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, or The Who? Three massive bands there, but the correct answer is Led Zeppelin. What famous festival took place in New York in 1969? Was it Woodstock, Monterey Pop Festival, or Isle of Wight Festival? The answer is Woodstock. 98. Who performed the hit Mac the Knife? Was that Dean Martin, Bobby Rain, or Frank Sinatra? The answer we're looking for is Bobby Rain. 99. What Simon and Garfunkel song was featured in the film The Graduate? The Sound of Silence, Bridge Over Troubled Water, or Mrs. Robinson? The answer is The Sound of Silence. Question 100. What Rolling Stones song starts with the lyrics, "I see a red door and I want it painted black"? Is it Ruby Tuesday? Is it the song Paint It Black? Or is it Satisfaction? The answer is Paint It Black. And that's question 100. Here is a bonus question. Which iconic British band performed at the 1969 rooftop concert atop the Apple Corps headquarters, marking their last public performance? Let us know the answer to that in the comments, and let us know how many points you scored, because that is the end of our quiz. There are the Quiz Class Awards again. You can have a little look at them and see which you received based on the amount of points you scored. And that does bring us to the end of the video. Thanks for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified on all of our upcoming quizzes. In the meantime, there are loads of quizzes that you can try right now, so click another one and get involved again. My name's Ellis and I've been your host. We'll see you next time at Quiz Class.